Nanny Falls, Jamaica. The geology, the attraction. Upon visiting the Nanny Falls, the geology caught my eye, as you can imagine. Now, the first mystery relates to the rounded rocks, volcanics, and sedimentary rocks that would have lined the footpath to the trail or to the waterfalls itself. Why this is so intriguing is because, for one, the trail itself with the rounded rocks has elevation higher than the nearby river course. And you will see a clip of that here. But the rounded rocks reflect a degree of abrasion due to fluvial processes, or in other words, past river occurrence. So if it's a case that these rounded rocks are now lining the trail, it indicates that the trail in of itself would have once been the riverbed. So to see then that there are elements of the trail that have elevation higher than where would have been segments of the current river system itself indicates that the tectonic nature that would have been responsible for the increase in elevation of where I would have observed these rounded rocks is relatively younger. In other words, the tectonism is relatively active. Now, among other things, in terms of the nature of the geology, as I would have mentioned, volcanics, andesitic, basaltic, and then I also observed sedimentary rocks in the form of sandstones and also carbonates. Now, the thing about the carbonates is that it has a degree of highlight relating to karst. And where the actual waterfall is, what it is that I could see is that there are some massive carbonate boulders. How is it possible that these massive carbonate boulders are present, considering the fact that what I would have observed as folded strata reflects predominantly sandstone, mudstone? And sandstone, mudstone essentially reflects a degree of low energy environment, more so close to, let's just say, the surface in and of itself. So this in essence is reflecting a degree of a close association between, let's just say, marine and non-marine environment. That is what is the actual history of Nanny Falls in and of itself. But going back to the folded strata, the actual location of the Nanny Falls highlights a basin setting. It's as if to say the strata that would have been folded would have also been eroded due to the water process itself, and that then now results in the actual pool area in and of itself. But as highlighted, the big boulders reflect past, I would say, extreme events that would have resulted in these massive carbonate boulders moving from up further along the hill. Now, if it's a case that these boulders exist, then geologically speaking, what it now begs the question is, in terms of the actual setting or the transition from, let's just say, non-marine to marine for the sandstone, mudstone to then now transition into carbonates is not entirely a one that you can just say moves from a just linear process. In essence, there is a degree of further looking into that is required. Because among other things, what I also would have observed are like relics of metamorphic carbonates, marble. And this now indicates that among other things, this specific location, Nanny Falls, could more than likely have elements of volcanic arc association with it. Now, notwithstanding what it is that is present today, what I would have also been looking at when I look at these maps is the reality that there more than likely exists at least two strike slip or major strike slip earthquake systems that surround the Nanny Falls itself, and there more than likely also exists at least one thrusting slash reverse earthquake fault system. And this is what is critical for the increase in elevation. And this is highlighted by what would have been past floodplain areas. Now, with this being briefly mentioned, all of this combines to yield the beautiful attraction that the Nanny Falls is today. But without any form of question at all, the geology in the context of the tectonism as well as the nature of the geologic processes are key behind the attraction being what it is.